This SawStop table saw costs just under $1,000, and this Skil table saw costs about $300. And there's 5 other table saws that sit in between these. I bought every one of these myself and spent over $3,500 to find out one answer. What is the best table saw under $1,000? The answer surprised me, and the SawStop didn't win. I'm going to show you which saw beat it and why I would still buy the SawStop in one specific situation, but there's one table saw on this list that I would just keep walking past and avoid it. And just because this table saw is sitting here doesn't mean it won. It's just the only one I had available, put on the bench. Let's go. Before you get started, if you'd like to check out any of these table saws or other tools that I mentioned in this video, I'm going to link those in the description. The pinned comment, of course, you can scan the QR code with your phone if you're watching on TV. Takes you right to my website. Now, let's dive in. I tested all 7 of these table saws in 4 very important categories. Number 1, the fence. You have to have a very good fence on a table saw to make it a functional tool. Number 2, the power. It needs to be able to cut through hardwoods, softwoods, plywood, anything you want to use a table saw for. Number 3, accuracy. It's one of the most important things about a table saw to get repeatable results. And how accurate are these out of the box? And number 4, capacity. How wide of a cut can you make and how deep of a cut you make, because those are important to know. And here's the deal, I'm not going to pick just one singular winner, because a $300 table saw might not be what you want if you're looking at that $900 table saw, but I'm going to pick 3. The best beginner saw, the best all-around table saw for the money, and of course, the best one if safety is a major concern. 2 of these answers will probably surprise you, and 1 might save a finger or 2. This Skil, it's kind of a $300 marvel of modern engineering at this price point because of what you get. Now, I reviewed this saw over 3 years ago, it's pushing 4 years ago now, and almost 500,000 people watched that video to find out if it was a best budget saw for a beginner, or for any woodworker really. But I had a question if it would still hold up. So recently I bought it for a second time to do a second review on it to make sure, after testing all these other table saws, is this still the budget king? I think it is. It has a full 10-inch size blade. In other words, you're going to get a full depth of cut on this table saw. It has that rack and pinion fence, which is gear driven. I love rack and pinion fences. The front and the back are gear driven, so the fence stays perfectly square and aligned and moves at the exact same pace. It does have those folding legs, so if you are in a small shop, you can store it away easily, or you can take it out into the driveway or even in the middle of your shop floor, fold those legs down, and you've got a functional table saw on a stand. Out of the box, the Skil was dead accurate with no adjustments needed. The blade was square to the table and to the fence. Now, it does have a 15-amp motor, and it plowed through walnut, leopard wood, plywood, all the woods without any trouble at all. You can also use a partial dado stack. In other words, it'll fit almost all of the dado stack, but not quite all. What I don't love about the Skil table saw, and you have to factor this in when you buy it, is the stock blade. I am not a fan of that stock blade. I think it's a very cheap blade. It's okay if you're just going to be doing very rough stuff, but for woodworking and finish work, you're going to need a different blade. I would highly recommend just picking up the DeWalt 40 tooths, kind of a general all-purpose blade, or even the 60 tooth combo. There's a 40 and 60 tooth combo you can get for a very affordable price. But this is something you'll have to factor in because that Skil blade is not that great. The miter gauge is kind of junk. I don't really care for that at all, and the push stick is the kind that I don't like either. Really cheap plastic, so both of those will likely need to upgrade, although getting started you'll probably be just fine with those, but after you use this for a while you might want to upgrade, and that's probably going to be the case for most of these saws. But for $300, give or take, this is an absolutely insane deal because you get a real rack and pinion fence that stays square. It has plenty of power to do everything you're going to need, has those folding legs, and it's absolutely the saw I tell most beginners to pick up because it's not going to break the bank and it's going to get you good results. If I had to rank this on an S tier scale, I would absolutely put it in the A tier. And it would probably be A+, like almost in that S tier, mainly because of the price. A $300 table saw that has all of these features in 2026 is an absolute steal. I really want to put it in the S tier, but I'm going to reserve that for the absolute king. Round 2, the Kobalt 10-inch table saw. I reviewed this a while back. This table saw is from Lowe's, the Kobalt brand. It's about $350, so it's a little bit more expensive than that Skil. You do get that same 10-inch size blade. You do get a rack and pinion fence for about $50 more. I don't know, is this worth it? Well, it does have more rip capacity than the Skil. The Skil has 25.5 inches of rip capacity where the Kobalt has over 32 inches, so you are getting a little bit more, or quite a bit more capacity with this Kobalt. The Kobalt had an aluminum throat plate. The first Skil that I had had plastic. Now they've upgraded it, so if you buy the newer Skil, you will get that aluminum throat plate as well. What that means is there won't be any flexing around the blade, especially when you're cutting smaller parts. It's a really nice addition. Now you can pull the riving knife off the Kobalt just like you can the Skil and put in a partial dado stack. I couldn't get 2 of the chippers on, but I got most of the stack on there. Out of the box, the Kobalt table saw was square. Fence needed a tiny bit of adjustment, but it was very easy to do. You just loosen up these little bolts, move them just so, and you're ready to roll. As far as the power goes on this Kobalt table saw, powered right through this walnut without any issues at all. Now what you do give up with the Kobalt is there's no folding legs already attached, but you can pick up an extra stand with it, or sometimes it is actually even sold in a bundle with the stand. So if you're looking for something like that, this might be a good option. Which one of these budget saws wins out of these two? Well, it's kind of a tie, but I would pick the Skil just above it. I do like those folding legs, but the Kobalt does have that extra rip capacity, so it just depends on what you're going to need there. I would put this right under the Skil, just barely. Round 3, the DeWalt 8 1/4 table saw is probably one of my favorite table saws as far as small and compact because of how good it is, the price it's usually at, and just all around the features you're getting. Now this table saw is not for everybody. It does have that 8 1/4 blade, so you are going to give up quite a bit of capacity on here because you're not going to be able to get that full depth of cut. So if you're trying to rip a 4x4 or something like that, this is probably not the saw for you. But for most things, especially just around the shop or even on the job site, this is a little powerhouse. The fence, rack and pinion, dead square right out of the box. And there's a bunch of attachments you can get for this and the Skil and some of these other table saws where you can add on those Jessam's stock guide rollers to the top of the fence, or the TSO fence that you can also add on those stock guide rollers, feather boards, all kinds of stuff to upgrade your saw. But this little tiny 8 1/4 table saw is just a little workhorse. It's very compact, so if you're in a very small space or you're having to transport your table saw, this might be the best option for you. It has plenty of power, as much power as these other ones as far as the way it feels to cut wood. I've cut all kinds of stuff with it. Leopard wood, walnut, pine, plywood. It's been a fantastic little saw. Even though this thing is really compact, you're still getting 24.5 inches of rip capacity, which is really good for this tiny little saw. But here's the bracket math here, because the Skil's giving you the 10-inch blade, the Kobalt's giving you the 10-inch blade. The Skil has about the same rip capacity, the Kobalt has a little bit more rip capacity, but you are giving up quite a bit of capacity on that 8 1/4 blade. I think most people would be happier long term if they got a 10-inch saw, unless you're just using this on the job site and you need that portability. For that reason, I'm gonna rank it right under the Kobalt. Next up, the Hercules. The 10-inch table saw from Harbor Freight. I was very surprised by this saw. When I first walked into Harbor Freight years ago, they had a table saw that had one of those T-glide style fence. Even newer table saws still have these on there. I don't like them. Mainly because of my bad experiences with a Delta Shopmaster table saw I had years ago. Just really terrible fence, pretty scary. And I saw that Hercules and was like, nope, I'm out. About a year or so after that, they come out with their brand new Hercules table saw that has the rack and pinion fence. See the theme here. This thing is fantastic. That rack and pinion fence, square out of the box, everything was lined up. The blade that come on the Hercules was actually one of the better ones in this group, minus maybe the DeWalt 8 1/4. It's a really good blade. Cut through everything I needed to, walnut, pine, all those. But there was a slight issue here because I couldn't get the riving knife out. They didn't make it to come out. What that means is you're stuck with a standard blade and you can't use a dado stack on this saw unless I'm mistaken, and you can correct me in the comments. But from what I could tell, you couldn't put a dado stack on this, so that might be a deal killer if you need a dado stack. The fence also on my version anyway that I got did not move as smooth as the Skil or the DeWalt or even the Kobalt table saw. It was just kind of stiff. I tried a few things to get it to go smoother, but it was just a really stiff fence. Not a deal breaker, but you could absolutely tell the difference. And the positive stop that you get, like on these table saws like the DeWalt, you can really feel it snap. I did not have that with the Hercules either. It just felt a little less than the DeWalt's. Not a bad thing, just you could tell the difference. I think it's an excellent saw, especially at the price, but the no dado stack is kind of a bummer, and you could tell the refinement wasn't quite there that you get on the DeWalt's, like the way the fence slides and the way it locks. The Hercules saw also only has 24.5 inches of rip capacity. It is kind of on the level with that 8 1/4 as well as the Skil. This saw is priced right under $400. I still think it's a great value, but I do think the Skil is better because you can put a partial dado stack on there. The folding legs also, I give that a little extra bump. So I'm ranking this Hercules on par with the Kobalt. One of the biggest table saw surprises to me in 2025 was this, the Evolution 10-inch table saw. Now when I reviewed that early last year, it come in at right around $399. Now it will cost you at least $475, which is a pretty good price increase in just about a year and a half's time. So I'm gonna knock it down for that, I'm gonna be honest with you. But there are some incredible features that none of these other table saws have that might make it even worth that extra bump. This table saw has a built-in sliding table. A sliding table saw is usually very expensive. This one has it built in. So in other words, you basically get a crosscut sled built in to your table saw if you use the miter gauge. Now the miter gauge that comes with the Evolution isn't impressive. None of these table saws have a very good miter gauge. They're just kind of thrown in the box as an afterthought in my opinion. But with that sliding feature, it does make it extremely useful, especially if you do a lot of cross cutting on your table saw. If you look at something like the Festool sliding table saw, that thing's about $1,500 and you get this one right around the $500, a little under the $500 mark. So it does have these extra features that might make it worth that price for you. The table saw also has outfeed support. None of these other table saws have that either. So if you are in a very small space, you can pull this extension out behind that table saw. That way your boards don't just fall off the back. It's a very cool feature. I wish all table saws, especially these small ones, had that. This also has a rack and pinion fence. It stays square. It was a really good fence, had no issues with it. You could also remove the riving knife and use a partial dado stack here. And the reason all these saws have partial capabilities on a dado stack is because the arbor length isn't quite long enough to fit the full stack. This did have a soft start motor, which I did appreciate because some of these they just pop to life and are very loud. This one wasn't quiet, but it did at least have the soft start. Kind of an interesting thing with the Evolution is they're really made as a multi-material saw. So the blade that comes with it is a multi-material blade, meaning you can cut wood or you can cut metal with it. So if you don't need that metal cutting capability, I would just get a regular table saw blade for this because it doesn't do a great job on plywood or even some of the hardwoods. It's not just meant for wood, it's also meant for metal, so you kind of give up or have a little trade-off there. It can also cut plastic if you're into that. So I bought this little mini Frankenstein table saw is what I call it. I had a contractor on site actually and had him test it too. He was a little skittish of it just like I was. Neither of us can recommend it because the fence is a little wiggly. I don't like that. You can't raise or lower the blade, so whatever setting it is, you got it. That's all you get. There's no really clear sight line of the blade because of that guard. It's a neat concept. I just personally don't think it was executed very well, but there are people in the comments that love this table saw / miter saw. It really depends on your application, but for most people, in a wood shop, I think you'd be better off with a regular table saw. Where would I rank the Evolution 10-inch table saw? Man, it's going to be tough. I think I put it right there with the Hercules because it does have those added features that kind of make it neat. I just wish that price was back at $399. When it was $399, it was such a great deal. All right, this is where the bracket gets serious. This is the DeWalt 10-inch table saw with the rolling stand. Really cool rolling stand. I love the fact that it has this. It's very easy to set up, and when you set it up, it's one of the most stable stands that I've used on a table saw. I do have the little stand with the 8 1/4 table saw. I also had the Skil fold-out legs, but the way this stands, it's like really broad, and it's just so stable. Even when I was cutting this piece of white oak, it's very heavy. It was recently milled, so it's still very wet. Even all the way off the back of the saw, I didn't feel like the saw was wiggling or moving or anything like that. It was very stable. I needed outfeed support on that cut, absolutely, but even without it, it was very stable. Now this table saw costs about $650, $750 depending on the time of year and the sale. You can catch it on sale quite regularly, so if you're patient, you can get this at a decent deal around that $650 mark. I think this was built to challenge what the SawStop is offering under the SawStop's price point. This can do a few things that the SawStop can't, but the SawStop can do a few things this can't. Not only is this stand stable, it also has a really good working height. That's one of the complaints I hear a lot on the Skil. It is much lower than this. This comes up right at waist high. It's a very comfortable height to be cutting any stock that you're going to be working with. This also has the rack and pinion fence, and it has 32.5 inches of rip capacity. So this is one of the maxed out capacity saws, kind of on par with that Kobalt as far as rip capacity goes. The blade that come on this 10-inch saw though was not my favorite. It's more of a rough construction blade. It did okay, but I did go ahead and upgrade to that 40-tooth DeWalt. It just works so much better. You can run a dado stack up to 13/16 of an inch. In other words, almost all of it on this table saw as well. And the way the riving knife come off was kind of interesting. There was a handle on the side you pulled, the riving knife pops out, then you put your dado stack on. As far as power, just like I was talking about that very dense, wet, white oak that I cut, zero issues. Cut plywood with it, cut walnut with it, everything that you're going to want to cut with this saw, there's not going to be any issues. Now, for time's sake, I'm not going to do a complete Skil versus DeWalt table saw video. If you'd like to see that, just comment Skil video, and I'll know what you mean. I'll look into doing that video. But just a quick comparison, you do get more capacity with this DeWalt. I do like the stand much, much better. It also rolls, so it's quite a bit easier to move around. And it does take up minimal space just like the Skil. But it is also double the price of the Skil, a little over double actually. So it just depends on if that rolling stand, that extra cutting capacity is worth it to you. I think it's an extremely good table saw. I got to put this all the way up to the top in the S tier, but only if you have the budget, because the Skil is still an incredible value at around that $300 mark. You're not missing out on much. Now, this table saw costs almost $1,000, $899 at the time of this filming. After taxes, you're going to be pushing $1,000. First thing, it's a SawStop. So it has the best safety feature of any of the table saws on this entire list. So if you're very concerned about that, this is the saw for you, because it has that flesh sensing technology. So if your hands, fingers, toes, whatever get close to the blade and touch that blade, while it's powered on, it will trigger the brake, which drops that blade below the surface and keeps you nice and safe. It is a great safety feature, but I was quite disappointed with this table saw. A couple of cool features is the fact that it has a pretty cool onboard storage in the back that has everything nice and tidy. So if you are going job site to job site, this might be the way to roll. It also has a pretty nice fence that has some micro adjustment available. And of course, the reason SawStop exists, that flesh sensing technology is there. SawStop does have a 10-inch table saw blade. I'm not a fan of this blade. I think it could have been better, but you are limited on the rip capacity right around 24.5 inches or so. So you want to make sure if you need that extra capacity, you might want to look somewhere else. And the fence was one of those that I just didn't care for. It's a little floppy. Most of these job site table saws at full extension have a little bit of play, but the SawStop had quite a bit of play. I actually got on the phone with SawStop support. They didn't know who I was. I just called them. They told me what to do to adjust it, and I was able to get some of that slop out, but not all of it. Also, while cutting a 2x6 with a SawStop, I felt it bogging just a little bit. I think it's because the RPMs are quite a bit lower. If I'm not mistaken, around 4,000 RPMs compared to the DeWalt's that are 5,000, 5,500. It's more, a lot more actually. So you might notice the difference in that if you're starting to cut a lot of thicker woods. That flesh sensing technology is the only reason to buy this saw, in my opinion. And for some people, that's the only reason that matters. If you're new to woodworking, if you've got kids in the shop, if you're teaching kids how to use a table saw, then I would absolutely highly recommend getting something like a SawStop because of that safety feature. So we're going to rank the SawStop. I actually think it's below all of these other ones on about a C tier. But if you want that safety technology, it goes all the way to the S tier because it's the only one that got it. So if you want the maximum safety on a table saw, it goes S tier. If that's not quite as important to you and you want the other features that comes with these other saws, then I would drop that all the way back down to the C tier. I just think there's better saws on the market, in my opinion, from what I've tested. Minus the safety feature. Can't beat that. 7 saws, 3 winners, this is what I'd pick. If you're a beginner, working out of the small shop, you're on a budget, get the Skil. It's right around $300, has a great fence, plenty of power, has those folding legs, fantastic saw at $300. Just go get it, links in the description. If you've got the budget, this DeWalt is one of the best small or compact job site table saws that I've tested in the last several years. It is a fantastic value. I love the fence, I love the power, I love the stand. It's a great value at that price, one of the best under $1,000. If safety is your #1 concern, the only one on this list worth looking at is a SawStop. They also have other models that are over $1,000 you can check out. I have the 3 horsepower PCS. It's an amazing saw. I can't recommend it enough, but it's not under the $1,000 that this video is about. The Kobalt's kind of a tie with the Skil. I would actually recommend just getting the Skil over those two, unless you need the rip capacity, of course. The Evolution is kind of the wild card here because it does have that sliding table. It does have the outfeed support. Some really cool features that none of these other table saws have. If you like those features, it is a really good saw if you don't mind paying almost $500 for it. And of course, the Harbor Freight Hercules, great saw. Nothing wrong with it as long as you don't want to use a dado stack. No matter what table saw you go with, make sure you upgrade the blade because the blade is one of the most important parts of the table saw other than the fence, and it makes your life much easier. A good 40-tooth combination blade is a great place to start. I would also highly recommend getting a better push stick. There's two I'll recommend. The king of push sticks, the micro jig gripper, has been around for years. It's a proven great safety feature for a table saw. I love this push block. Bo just come on the market with a new push stick as well. It's really great. Does a lot of the same things as a micro jig gripper, just a little different. It does have a different handle the way you push it, so it just depends on the ergonomics that you like there. Both of them, great options. I'll link to both in the description. If you're a beginner on a table saw, never do that with a table saw. Most beginners do. You got to go watch the video, click in the box, get you the big old virtual fist pump. Seriously, check it out.